What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here, and I really wanted to talk about Detective Conan. Medante Conan. Case closed, man. Listen, bro. Before I get into the journey in of itself, well, I guess it is a part of the journey in of itself. I wanted to talk about, you know, how I got to the point to wanting to binge Conan in 2 months, because this sounds like a very insane thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give you my thought process as to why I decided to do it, and what led to it, and the circumstances that led to me making this very video today, or to the journey that led to the end, or not even the end, but the to me making this video. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a certain thing called the Week of Tens. And whenever I did that, I initially did the Week of Tens as a counter to what was going on current in my life at that point in time, because I was feeling extremely stressed out from work and school at the time, mainly from school. And it was getting to the point to where I was feeling so stressed out that I decided that I wanted to counter the stress that I was feeling with even more. Like, basically, that's why I decided to do that. It's something as insane as putting 2 videos out a day. And I said, you know what? Because I enjoy reading manga so much, and because I enjoy doing everything that I do on here, let me stress myself out on YouTube as well. And if I stress myself out on YouTube as well, it's gonna counteract, and it's gonna allow my brain, because this is normally how my brain works. It's gonna find a way to search for survival and search for a way out, to search for a way out of the situation that I'm in. So I decided to do that, and I know it was a selfish reason to do the Week of Tens, and I did enjoy what I did, but that was my main thought process behind that. And on that, I believe it was Friday, whenever I got home from work, I decided or my brain decided that, in order to counteract the stress from both YouTube and work and school, I decided out of the blue, because I was in a stream with Laz about a week before that, and he was telling me about how awesome, about the greatness of Detective Conan. And my history with Conan goes back to Magic Kaito. If you guys were a part of the old channel, you guys remember that I reviewed Magic Kaito on a regular basis, that on a weekly basis. I actually reviewed like every single episode of Magic Kaito, I think up until its very end. And because of that, I got into movie 19, The Sunflowers of the Inferno, and that was my first exposure to the Conan side of the series, because I had seen him in the Kaito cases, but on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kaito is my protagonist, and I always saw like Conan and Shinichi as the antagonist, which is pretty crazy now, seeing it from the other side. But when it comes to the Sunflowers of the Inferno, and I saw that movie, and I saw it from everything from Conan's side, I was like, man, you know what? I like this. I really like this. And it wasn't until 2 years after that, I believe I watched it in 2015, but around like 2 years after that, where I got to the point to where I decided to read the first 116 chapters. And when I stopped from 116, and I don't remember why I stopped on 116, but I always leave it up to, that it was just meant to be, that this was the right time in my life for me to experience Conan at this point in time. So yeah, going back to where I currently was in the story. So this year, in that week, during the Week of Tens, during that weekend, I decided to, escape from everything that I was currently going through, to escape from the stress that I was feeling from all sides of my life, man. And I just said, you know what? Let's enter something. And then I just opened up a page of Conan, and I said, please just get me out of this scenario and situation that I'm in, man. And I started reading, and I'll tell you what, man, whenever I reached the Sherry case, of whenever her code name was first revealed, and that entire case right there, that's truly what kicked off the binge. That is what kicked off the 2 month binge, man. It was just something to where I was like, yo, And then I got to the first Kaito case, and I said, all right, man. All right, it's time to go in. And for the first Kaito case, I went to my boy Quentin. And I told him, because whenever I saw him in the manga, I was like, hold on, bro. Hold on. I went to Quentin and I said, bro, can you give me the episodes to watch this in the anime? Because I wanted to hear his voice again, man. The greatest, the Kaito Kid greatest. So that was my first exposure to the Conan side of the anime. It was whenever he sent me those episodes and I decided to watch it. Watch the Kaito Kid 1 hour special on in the anime, and I love that special so much that I decided that I would start switching back and forth between the anime and the manga on a regular basis. And as I continued the journey, and my shout out to my boy Quentin once again. He after that, I asked him. I said, man, if there's any other awesome anime episodes that you would recommend me watching, like some cases, like for example, like in Gintama. I know some people that read Gintama and they watch the serious arcs. For me, I just said whatever arcs you think are worth watching in the anime, man, that you think it knocks out of the park, you just let me know. I wanted to get more of the anime, so I decided to, he gave me that guide, and he also gave me an actual guide of something on Detective Conan World that had like the chapters translated into the episodes. And I was like, oh sweet. So if I ever want to switch myself, I can, man. And that just kick-started the amazing journey ahead, man. And the reason why I decided not to do live reactions, because from the very, very start of it, I told myself I wasn't going to do it. But whenever I was getting knee-deep into it, whenever I reached the case with, whenever we see the Porsche pull up and Gin's like, shitty. That case right there in the whenever this, I think it's called the reunion with the Black Organization. I believe that's what the arc is called. It's whenever Ibar, she returns back into her original self. She meets up with Gin again. Gin refers to Ano Kata for the first time. He pawns Pisco. That was some goat stuff, man. But after watching that in the anime, I said, this is reminding me of the Steel Ball Run experience that I had a couple years ago. The Steel Ball Run experience to me is still one of my favorite. It's hard because like this experience is just something so amazing to me, the Conan experience. But the Steel Ball Run experience to me, for the longest, was that one experience that was personal to me, because it was like my own thing. And I love doing live reactions, man, I really do, but I feel like there's some certain things to where you just, you keep to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And Steel Ball Run was that experience for me, where I love being so immersed to the point to where I read that in three freaking days. And I loved it. I absolutely loved that Catchup experience, the Steel Ball Run, so much. And Conan was reminding me of that. Conan was reminding me of it stopping whatever I'm doing. The moment that I get home from work, the moment I get home from school, we're going to jump on the Awesome Sauce. And that's what I did, man, for literally for 2 months. Was aside from like streams, occasional videos, and occasional like hangouts with my friends, it was all, just straight up all Conan for 2 months, man. And it really reminded me back to the Steel Ball Run experience, bro. Except the Steel Ball Run experience wasn't that long. It's only 90 chapters. This was like me going through Gintama again, man. With it, and I love the way that Gosho tells his story, because you never know whenever you go into the next chapter whether it's gonna be a case to reveal some insane information for the Black Organization, or some awesome plot line moving forward, like the stuff with Eri and Kogoro, or another Heiji and Conan case, which any case with Heiji Hattori is automatically fire. I don't know if it's gonna have flipping Yukiko or Yusaku, and I'm like, it's just the unpredictability of his storytelling was so awesome. The Junior Detective League, and I just enjoyed all those cases. I enjoyed, getting more into each individual character's stories and finding out more about them. Like, I remember there was this one particular story arc that still stands out to my mind to this very day, because it's those are the type of story arcs that I just love so much, man. There was this one story arc whenever I was reading the manga that just caught me so off guard, because it came out of absolutely nowhere, where it was talking about Inspector Megude's backstory. And I loved it so much, because it's that type of stuff that really makes the episodic series worth reading to me. We see Inspector Megude every single time there's a case, man. Every single time that there's a case, we see him. And then of course we got more developments with Takagi and with Sato. But we never really got anything else on Megure. Like, he was just the guy that always showed up. He was the inspector that always showed up to take care of business. You know what I'm saying? I always made fun of Kogoro and whatnot, but whenever I saw Megure's backstory, it really sunk in for me where I was like, man, dude, these characters are really, really amazing. And the way that he writes his episodic style of storytelling, which is my favorite style of storytelling, without question, but the way the Gosho does it is just, it's awesome. It's awesome. And the unpredictability, like I said, of not knowing what the next case is going to be, how he manages to still break my ankles with every single case that comes out, how so many of these cases end up still being amazing, like 1,000 chapters later. It's incredible to me, man. It's absolutely awesome. And I remember certain points in my binge where I legit could not stop, man. Those chapters right there, which I believe that also took place in the first that took place around the same time as the first case with Heiji and his father. I love that case, man. I loved that flipping case. I remember spamming Quentin, like, how much I love that case. And then also the bomber case with Sato and Takagi, I believe was around that time too. Those cases were awesome sauce, man. And that has nothing to do with the Black Organization either. Like, that is what's so awesome to me about Conan, is that I love their individual stories so much. It doesn't have to be about the main plot in order for me to be interested. I'm genuinely interested in seeing Eri and Kogoro get back together. Like in the 900s, whenever we had that amazing chapter where Kogoro was like, "Ain't nobody seeing Eri naked around here but me." Oh, greatness, man. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's that type of stuff for me that I love so much. But going back into like certain points in the experience that just blew my mind, man. After the Sherry case, I watched this case. I believe it was episodes 168 to 173. I was very, very sick because I usually go to church every single Sunday, and I was very, very sick, and I stayed in and I watched that case, the 168 to 173, which is, it starts off with Conan supposedly getting, or he was sick. He turns back, or he gets sick. He turns back into Shinichi, and because around this time, Ron was being very, very suspicious of Conan, and it was all leading into this case, and that stuff right there had my heart beating like a madman, right? So I woke up in the morning and I watched the cases that Quentin told me to watch, and so I watched that case. It was whenever Haibara was disguised as Conan, and Conan he turned back into Shinichi, which anytime that Jimmy Kudo, aka Shinichi Kudo, it shows up in a case, automatic 10 out of 10. I don't care, man. I don't care. I'm a mark, man. It's always good. The man brings clout. You know what I'm saying? But that case right there, and then with Heiji disguising himself as him, and having flashbacks to whenever Yusaku and Yukiko first got together. But the case in of itself was just so good. I was just trying to solve it in my head the entire time. But the stuff in that one place in the restaurant where Yukiko and Yusaku, first, whenever Ron and Shinichi were having their date, that stuff right there was so amazing to me, man. Like, still to this day, I'll never forget all the screenshots that I took at the end of that last episode, bro, where Conan was like, "Yo, man, just wait for me, bro." That stuff was beautiful, and the music that was playing, that was whenever, because the stuff with Sherry like really, really got me invested, and whenever I heard Vermouth, I was like, yo, I was like, okay, man, okay. But when I saw that case, man, when I saw Conan say at the very, like, "Just wait for me, bro," and I got chills, man. I got legit chills. I was marking out like a madman, because the way they ended that episode was so beautiful, bro. That case right there was absolutely amazing, man. And I need to rewatch that one of these days. And then after that, it was just like back to back greatness. After that, I watched the bus jacking. And the bus jacking still to this day spooks me, man. That was a phenomenal case, and it came out of nowhere. We got introduced to Akai in there. We had both Vermouth and Jody on there. Because around that time, I was so spooked, because we kept seeing Akai show up in just random locations. And I'm like, who in the flying flag nards is this dude? And then I thought for the longest that Vermouth was Jody, right? I never in a million years would have thought that Dr. Oride was Vermouth. I never in a million years would I have thought that, right? So throughout that entire part, I remember thinking that Jody is Vermouth, and all that entire build up to the Halloween party arc, to the Halloween party case, was just insane. You know, seeing Akai show up in random locations, I'm like, who is this dude? The New York file case. Dude, the New York file case was so good. I love the flashback cases. Any flashback case to me, Conan is godly, because I just love flashbacks in general. But the New York file case was so good, bro. So good, man. So we go from the New York case, man. We can see the long hair Akai at his prime, yo. Looking sick. Because they were building up to that through memories. Like they kept that, man, I swear I've seen that guy before. I swear I've seen that guy before. And we see it through Ron's memories. I'm like, man, dude, like greatness. And then we get to my first 2-hour special. And this is where I was like, good God almighty, this is what I live for, bro. This is giving me the vibes that Gintama gave me, man. Where like all these episodes led up to this one massive arc. And that's why I said that the Halloween party stuff reminded me so much of Yoshiwara, because it was like a turning point for me, man, where I was like, yo, this series is absolutely awesome sauce. I was like, it was like that, yo, like I love this series, man. But that 2-hour special was so good, man. The Halloween party aspect of, I mean, that case by itself, just the mystery aspect, I was shook, bro. I was trying to solve it in my head, man. I was like, man, what is going on here? What in the flying flag nerds are we doing? And then on the other side, you have all the craziness going down. Haibara's out here about to get kidnapped, and we're thinking, like, the way they set up was so gold, man. Because you have Araide out here, and then you have Jody, and we're thinking that she has to escape from Jody, but actually, she actually has to escape from Araide. And then when Jody and Vermouth have that conversation, Akai shows up with a shotgun, bro. And then the entire ending of that episode, which gave me legit. Anytime that an episode of Conan ends with the music playing, with godly dialogue, man, just straight chills. Whenever Vermouth was giving that amazing conversation about the silver bullet, I was like, brother, this is goat. This is flipping goat, man. And after that, like I was even more interested. Like I was like, man, I need more of this amazing stuff. And you know, just continuing there, man. Then getting Black Impact with the Mizurashi Rena stuff and how that was building into a Clash of Red and Black. Now, let me tell you guys something about Clash of Red and Black, man. When I watched Clash of Red and Black, I watched it in 2 parts. I went to sleep, or right before I went to sleep, I watched from 491, and that's whenever I saw that amazing opening. From 491 to like 498, I was going ham, and I went to sleep really, really, really late. Did I go to sleep? I don't think I wanted to sleep for Clash of... there was one arc that I didn't go to sleep for. I think it was Black Impact. I think no, there was multiple arcs I know I didn't go to sleep for. I know I didn't go to sleep for Black Impact. I think I did not go to sleep for. Yeah, I think it was either Black Impact or the Halloween party. I think it was Black Impact. I think for Black Impact I did not go to sleep at all. At all. Because I watched that mad early in the morning. And I think for Clash of Red and Black, it might have been the same. I think that it was like 4 in the morning, and I started it, and I got all the way up to like episode 501. 10 episodes back to back, something like that. And then I woke up rushing to work, yo, and now all I could think about at work was Clash of Red and Black. All I could think about that day was Clash of Red and Black, and I was like, yo, this feeling, I miss this feeling so much, of loving a series so much to where you can't get it out of your head, man. We're like, I have to continue it, bro. I have to continue it. It you know, it gives me the 20th Century Boys, the flipping Steel Ball Run vibes of like, I have to go home and finish what I'm doing. And all I could think about was what was going down in Clash of Red and Black, man. I was coming up with theories in my head and everything. And when I got home, man, nothing was stopping me from finishing Clash of Red and Black, man. I watched 502, 503, 504 back to back. 504 was I still get chills, man. Like that episode was just done so well, bro. And then you're left in the dark of what actually happened for over 300 episodes or 300 chapters. Like, man, God, man, Clash of Red and Black greatness, yo. Absolute greatness. But Black Impact, man, with the flipping Akai sniper scene, you know, I changed my Call of Duty class to Akai Shuichi, bro. I had to, yo. Akai flipping Shuichi, bro. The Clout gang, man. But at the time, like, Vermouth and Akai and Gin, like, those 3, anytime that I would see them, like, I was paying attention so much, man, because it was, like, automatically something good was gonna happen. And I still feel that way with those 3 characters. You know, I remember getting really, really excited and hyped whenever we found some information from Haibara when it came to certain things. Anytime that I saw Yukiko or Yusaku in a chapter, it just or in an episode, it just automatically made it like 10 times better for me. But yeah, man, and then going from there, bro, and then the journey, the bourbon stuff, man. The bourbon stuff had me so shook, bro, because I'm like, what is going on out here, coach? Bourbon. And then, man, like all that build up, bro, so many. I remember at that time, I was watching a lot of the anime. Like, I was going ham, bro, watching so much of the anime, man. And the Kaito cases were going in. Oh, I forgot about the episode 300 case. So, I watched the episode 300 case. That was another case that I recall losing a lot of sleep over, because that case, I remember Quentin telling me it was a Kaito case, but it was also a special case for chapter 300. So whenever I watched it, and I thought that case was awesome, man. Of course, like, seeing what happened in recent developments in the manga, it puts a lot more weight on that case, but even without that, I love that chapter 300 case in the mansion with all the detectives in it just because of the clout. Like, having all these different detectives that are all, like, really good at what they do all come together. And then by the end of the case, you realize just how amazing all of them actually are as detectives, man. It was so cool seeing what's his face from the Kaito anime too, Hakuba. I forgot what his name was, the one with the blonde hair. But it was awesome seeing him too. But you know, just seeing all those detectives in one place, and it's like they're having like their own little mind games with each other. It was awesome. I love that that part of the anime, man. That was some success. I believe that's episode 219 in the anime. But the chapter 300 case, that was some awesome stuff. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, man, I always got stoked for a Kaito Kid case, man. Always got stoked because, like I said, that was my guy. That was the reason why I got into Conan. And every time a Kaito case came up, and I told Quentin too, I was like, Quinn, bro, just let me know when a Kaito Kid case comes up, man. Or not let me know, but like tell me to put it like in the batch of the episodes that it's coming. I want to watch every Kaito case, man. And that's exactly what I did. Every single time a Kaito Kid case came up, I would always watch it. I'll never forget telling my brother whenever I reached episode 887, and I was like, Kevin, bro, this is it, man. This is it. This is the final Kaito Kid case, bro, before I catch up. And I just enjoyed it so much, and I was like, I need Kaito again in my life, man. But speaking of Kaito, bro, now, I've been really thinking about what my favorite case is, and it's very hard. It's very hard, man. But I cannot deny how hard I marked out in the mystery flipping train, bro. During the mystery train arc. Whenever this man Kaito was disguised as Haibara, bro, I thought the Mystery Train arc was phenomenal up until that point. I mean, the mystery of the train itself, trying to find out who actually did it, having all of these different characters on there at one time, with trying to find out who Bourbon is. Scar Akai shows up, and we're like, what is going on out here, coach? The BO is on there. We have some spooky stuff going on. Haibara's receiving messages. Yukiko's on there. Yukiko and Bourbon have a godly conversation. I'm like, bro, Mystery Train, this is a godly arc. But when you have Kaito Kid in a black organization in one arc, bro, you just start marking out, man. At least for me, bro. Like I was losing my mind. I couldn't believe it, bro. Kaito and freaking Shinichi working together in a case, dog. I love Mystery Train, man. And I kid you not, for a day, for a day or like 2 days straight. Because after I watched Mystery Train, I thought about Conan the entire day. Oh my god, man! The end of the Mystery Train episode, whenever Akai opens his eye, yo, greatness, man, greatness. I'll get to open the roof in a sec, but going to the awesome sauce of Mystery Train for a sec. For I kid you not, the entire day at work. You know the opening that plays during that? The down. I had that tune stuck in my head for 2 days. I swear, bro. I couldn't stop. Like in my head, I was and I couldn't stop hearing the train. Like the whenever it would whistle. Oh man, dude, that was stuck in my head for like a week. I kid you not, but I was stuck in my head for like a week. Speaking of that, there was this one OST that I was really addicted to, and I haven't even searched it up. But I love this OST because I always had it stuck in my head. It's whenever the BO would like show up. I think it was the OST that played whenever we had the bus jacking case at the beginning. Whenever they're at that whenever they're at the beginning part of the case, and Vermouth goes up to Gin, and you know they're having like the little conversation. That OST to me is so godly. Before I get into what I was going to talk about, which is going to be the London case, which I love so much, but I want to talk about Vermouth for a second. Because, like I said, whenever it came to my interest of Akai Shuichi, and how much I loved his character from this very moment that I saw him, and from his design to what he is, like with the FBI, and all of that stuff that was going down there, because that was some crazy stuff, man. And I Akai freaking Shuichi, bro. He's so good to me. Around that time, there was also another character that, like I said before, that I really, really enjoyed seeing. That was Vermouth. The dialogue that Vermouth would spit, man, would just, like, Gin's dialogue is some crazy. Like, I love listening to Gin speak. There's something about with Vermouth that just really, really just gets to me, man. Which is, I think, why I love that New York case so much. Whenever you hear her as Sharon, and I need to rewatch that case because I need to rewatch what she says at the end. Because I forgot what she says, but I remember she was like looking outside of a hotel room, and she said something, and she was very, very happy. And after the recent developments of the manga, I need to find out what that is. But with Vermouth, man, just from the moment that, you know, all that build up, and then whenever we find out that she's Dr. Ride, and then the silver bullet stuff, it's just, Vermouth to me is such an amazing character, man. Like it's still to this very day, whenever I see her, I get mad hyped, because she's such an awesome character, man. Angel, bro. Angel, yo. Show me your magic, cool guy. Yo, man, I'm a Vermouth mark, yo. And I think the reason for it is because she reminds me so much of Fujiko Mine. And Fujiko Mine is, to me, like the creme de la creme when it comes to characters. I love Fujiko Mine, man. And Vermouth reminds me so much of her. But Vermouth has like that twist of being a part of the black organization and having like these deep roots that we have no idea about. Like every time that we find out more and more about Vermouth, it's like I feel like I'm learning more and more about like the history of the black organization. And she's such an interesting character. I love Vermouth, man. I loved her from the very, very moment she was introduced up until this very day. I've, like, my love for her just continues to grow. And even after Mystery Train, my love for her continues to grow, man. Vermouth's such an awesome character. But going into the London case, bro, listen to this, man. Like I said before, anytime that Shinichi shows up in a case, it's absolutely amazing to me. I remember that one case with Heiji and Kazuha, and I love that relationship so much with Heiji and Kazuha and Shinichi and Ran. I was marking out the entire thing, man. That's why I love that one case in 168, 173 so much, because, you know, Shinichi was back. And I remember my favorite case up until the Sherry case was whenever Shinichi came back in the first Heiji case. That was some awesome stuff. But going back into what I was saying with the London case to me, man, in terms of being extremely invested in the case itself, that is up there as the most invested that I've been in finding out what, like, I'm me literally trying to figure this out. Like, legit putting away my marking out over the fact that Shinichi's here. Putting away the fact that Ran, and that Shinichi just confessed to Ran, everything that was going down that arc, the fact that we're in London, where it's like Sherlock Holmes is from, Watson, the greatness. Putting all that aside for what was going down in that London case. Because I was just so invested into trying to solve this case. Legit, I was super, super invested in trying to solve that case, man. And by the end of it, of course, it turned out to be like one of my favorite cases. But just, I'll never forget how immersed I was in the case itself. I loved it so much, man. That London case, in terms of like one of those things that you just never forget, being so immersed into the case itself. Because I was trying to figure out just what in the flying flagners she was doing on the tennis court. And when you find out what she's doing on the tennis court, you're like, yo, okay, man. Okay, I got it, man. I got it. Holmes Apprentice, baby. Holmes Flippin' Apprentice. Excuse me, but that case was flipping awesome, man. Let me see. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. I don't know why, but the Junior Detective League cases, to me, I love all the cases, but the Junior Detective League cases are so awesome for me. A couple cases that stick out to me, just like right off the bat. I remember this one case with man, I forgot what they call that. It starts with a G. The big monster that they have in the Conan series that they always watch the movies for. I've had multiple cases with that monster. Anyways, that God, it's not Gomera. That's what it is. That's what's called Gomera. The Gomera case with whenever somebody was dressed up as Gomera and they were running rampant, going around and like you were trying to find the killer and the killer was in the Gomera suit. That case for me always like stood out to me. That case to me stood out to me, and then there was this one case with Professor Agasa and a supposed lover from like a long time ago. That case to me warmed my heart, man. That case to me warmed my heart. I still have the pictures here on my laptop from the like that I saved on my computer because of how much I love that case, man. With Agasa and it's like, cause that was such a heartwarming case, man. Absolutely beautiful stuff. But going into some of the more recent content, man, Scarlet Showdown to me just I can't even begin to explain how much I was marking out, bro. I can't even begin to tell you how much I was marking out over the Scarlet Showdown stuff, bro. Just open the roof. Enough said. Open the flipping roof, son. Open the roof. You know, I thought the 800s were crazy. I thought the 800s were just out of this world insane. For so many different reasons, you know, the introduction of new characters, awesome characters with Seta Masumi, having Bourbon being more and more involved, seeing Bourbon and Vermouth show up in random cases, Jesus Christ, I was like, man, this shit is crazy, and just getting more and more invested in rum, 900, but when I got to 900s, man, the 900s last was in line, but it's spooky, man, because 900s are filled with so much greatness, man. The 900s are filled with absolute greatness. But when I reached the 1000, when I reached chapter 1000, I realized how much I truly love this series, man. When I reached chapter 1000 and I'll never forget opening up that page and seeing the color page, and I was like, yo, because the build up to it was that Shinichi wanted to go on this field trip with Ran. And whenever you open it up and you see it that it's actually leveled, and you see the color that they're on the trip, and then you turn the next page and it's freaking Shinichi and his thing and Ran on this trip together, and I was losing my mind, man. I was like, yo, it's happening finally, bro. My boy is back. Because up until that time, like, we hadn't seen Shinichi in a little minute. But just it was before I continue on that, Conan has a massive brain for what he did in Scarlet Showdown. I just wanted to make that. I just want to clarify that. Like, Conan has a massive brain, bro. How Gosho foreshadowed all of that for 300 flipping chapters, even down to the coffee falling. Come on, the coffee falling was an important thing. Open the roof, bro. Yo, Scarlet. Like I said, I have to really think about what my favorite case / arc in the series is, man. But that's one of them. But going back into the 1000s, man. The one flipping thousands. Like I said, bro. It reminded me of whenever I first read The World of Stars and Stripes. It reminded me of like how much I love this medium, and it wasn't like a out of this world case. It wasn't a case that had me extremely immersed. It wasn't even a case that had the black organization. It wasn't any of that. It was just simply Shinichi and Ran. That's it, man. And my boy Heiji coming up in there, you know, and stuff with the Tengu. But it was just having Shinichi solve this case in the flesh. And like him turning back into Conan, him turning back into Shinichi. There's just something about that case to me that I love so much, man. I really loved the first case of the 1000s a lot, man, a lot, bro. And the icing on the cake that made it all so much more better to me. The fact that it's freaking Heiji and Shinichi in the flesh again, solving a case. Was that Ran was building up to this thing with that Okita guy that looks like Shinichi. And like Shinichi, he was getting jealous. And the next time they see each other, she plants a kiss on my boy, and I was marking out. Listen, this Gosho is like one of the greatest romance writers I've ever seen. Because I marked out for the Sato and Takagi stuff. I was marking out hard for that. All right, I was marking out for the stuff going down with Santos and the one teacher, Kobayashi Sensei, I believe her name is. That I was marking out for that. I was marking out for my boy Detective Chiba. You know what I'm saying? Like his romances are so good. I mark out every single time for the Eri and Kogoro stuff. Like that stuff right there is so good. I remember that another case that I remember from the earlier stuff that I really loved was whenever Yukiko was mad at Yusaku, and she went on this massive, like it was like 10 chapters long together with Shinichi, and they were solving stuff together and whatnot. And Yusaku shows up out of nowhere, man, and just like, yo, get on the bike, yo, get on. You know there's clout here, bro. Yo, Yusaku, bro. Yo, I swear, man, for the longest I thought he was the boss, bro. I really did. He's just so goat, nightmare and greatness. I love Yusaku and Yukiko, man. Awesome characters. But and I swear, anytime they show up, it's always good. But going back into the 1000s, whenever I think it was chapter 1004. I don't remember. It was 1003, 1004. Whenever I saw the kiss on the cheek, I was like, yes, finally, bro. All that build up from all the way from the London case here. It's like, you got your answer, brother. And then they were about to officially go straight in, man, and actually kiss, bro. And I was like, let's go. My brother's my witness. I legit hit my bed like 15 times whenever I turned and he was turning back into Conan. I was like, damn it, what? I was hit, bro. I was nailing my bed, man. I was like, why? Like it was amazing, man. I love the 1000s, man. That first case to me is seriously one of my favorites. And like I said, it's nothing that out of the ordinary, man. It's another case with Shinichi and Heiji, bro, and with Ron. But there's something about that case I love so much, man. I love it. I really do. And then the consequences from that case, with the whole world finding out Kuro Shinichi just solved another case, my heart for all those chapters was just, it was at the speed of flipping light, man. And then this is a funny story. Whenever I was reading it, I went from 1000, and maybe this is what I love this arc so much. I went from 1000 to 1000, I believe, in 2, and then my mom told me that we had to leave. That we had to get going somewhere, and I was like, go flag notice, this might be emergency. So I left it on 1002, and I remember just staring at that page for like 15 minutes. And the page, I believe the front page, if it is 1002 that I'm thinking of, it just showed Shinichi right there with a suit, and I was like, that's my boy, man. I was just thinking about everything that I had just read, trying to come up with some certain things for what's going on. And then I received the news and everything's all good. We can stay here. And then I started reading. 1003, 1004, 1005. But from 1005 to like 1008, man, with the craziness that was going down of the world now knowing that Kuro Shinichi just solved another case and he was there. They caught him. They legit caught him, bro. And it was genius how Gosho decided to use the whole Okita looks like him in order to think. But still, bro, they caught him on camera, man. I was shook, bro. But that entire thing, my heart was moving at the speed of flipping light, man. And don't even get me started on 1008. Don't even get me started on 1008, man. I'm thankful that Quentin told me to live react to that, because I needed to vent after that, man. The Karasuma revealed to me was just crazy. It was flipping insane. It was craziness. It was goat. It was godly. Just, this journey, man. This journey, bro, just look back on all the awesome sauce, all the amazing cases, all the character moments. The smallest of things, man, like the Sonata case, the case like in the chapter 40s with in that one mansion I love so much. You look back on like the early chapters or just any chapter in general in this series. I remember this one random chapter that I always think about for some reason. So chapter took place in this mansion with a musician, and Shinichi at the time, Shinichi was trying to, or Conan was trying to come up with the identity of the boss and trying to reach the boss, because the email address was the Seven Crows song, and I love that part so much. That part right there was awesome. Where you're like you're listening for, and it was amazing because it was all building up to the Mizunashi Rena and like the Aisuke stuff, and which I can't wait to see Aisuke again. But the Mizunashi Rena stuff with the phone and with the address, and like how, oh snap, I recognize that number. Like it was like, don't even tell me. Did you? Again, yeah, that was goat, man. He's like, don't even tell me, and that's what I think it is. And get again, that was awesome. Black Impact, man. That was awesome, goat stuff. That came out of nowhere too, man. Like a random case led into that. That's what I love so much about Gosho storytelling. But going back into what I was saying. Oh yeah, about the cases. There was one case with the musician, and he asked him, was like, "Yo, do you know about the Seven Crows, or do you know like this tune?" And he tells him about and he tells him to play it, and he plays it on the piano, and he remembers back to his mom. He remembers back to Yukiko playing that, and I thought that was foreshadowing to the fact that Yusaku and Yukiko were gonna be the bosses, like legit. Listen, man. Whenever you're reading code and you're getting all these things, man, you just start thinking of a whole bunch of stuff in your head, man. And I know I'm not the only one, because there was certain points in times where I thought it was Agasa, where I thought it was flipping Yusaku. I was talking to this with Mr. X Reacts in the messages. I was like, bro, I could have sworn it was him, man. Like he's the smartest dude in the verse. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the Karasuma stuff leads, and I can't wait to see where the rest of the 1000s go, because the 1000s to me are already like, if it continues on, this is gonna be the best parts in the series, man. Like I said, I love that first case so much, bro. And in the school field trip, man, that shit was so good. And the stuff that took place after that just had my heart beating at the speed of light. So I'm looking forward to seeing where Gosho takes everything from here on out, man. But my journey with Conan is not over, man. And I look back on this 898 chapter experience and an episode experience. Just looking back on everything that I read and watched these past 2 months, man, and how amazing of a journey it was. It was the personal experience that was still about run, but like doubled because of the amount of chapters. It gave me the episodic pleasure that I enjoyed so much from Gotama, and the adventure of trying to figure out a mystery and figure out more about the story the same way that One Piece gave it to me, man. And it was just such an amazing journey that I would never give for the world, man. Conan flipping greatness, man. It provided me so much awesome sauce. The awesome sauce that I needed, the awesome sauce I craved. The character moments, awesome moments like with serious moments with the Black Organization. Awesome random little cases like that one with Inspector Megure. That's awesome stuff with the Junior Detective League, making me feel like a kid again, because that's how I was when I was a kid too, man. The awesome little flashbacks, like the case in the aquarium, with Shinichi and Ron, man. Just so much amazing stuff in the series, man, and I'm so thankful that I got into it. I really, really am, man, because it was one of the greatest, if not the greatest catch-up experience that I've had, man. I absolutely loved it. And right after I caught up yesterday, I watched the episode 1 special that I loved a lot, man. That episode 1 special was flipping gold. The additional scenes, they added the credits, they added the end, man. Genyo, rum, and lemon juice. And just seeing that first case again in Tropical Land, man, you're just like, man. Like I remember in the aquarium case, I was marking out when I heard the Tropical Land. But it's just seeing the episode 1 special and seeing everything again, man. It was just so goat. So good. And then this morning, I watched movie 1, and I watched it with my brother, because my brother has been watching Conan off and on with me. Like he watches a lot of the Kaito Kid cases with me. He watched the 160, 173, so that entire batch of episodes with me. He watched a couple of Black Organization stuff. He watches like every now and then. Like he knows the main gist of the story and whatnot. But he watched entirely movie 1 with me this morning, and because I want to watch all the movies, and just going through that first movie with the old animation style. And like so much nostalgia, even though I've only been into the series for a little bit, so much nostalgia just rushes into my head, man. And that entire movie was so good. Like I said before, I love whenever Conan has those scenes where the music starts playing and there's like an epic moment. That's how it was at the end of the movie, whenever they're like back to back, whenever Ron had to cut those wires, and freaking Conan was there with the voice changer for Shinichi. It was so good, man, so good. I just look back on this amazing episodic journey, like every single time that Conan would bring up like the sleeping Kogoro thing, it was always so goat, because I always really, really wanted to know I wanted to have the mystery solved, and whether like I was right on my prediction on who I thought the culprit was. And it always like blew out my expectations on like how Ghost Show has Conan like solve these cases and whatnot. And there's so much amazing. I have a mass appreciation for episodic storytelling. Like I said, it's my favorite style of storytelling, and Ghost Show's style of episodic storytelling really makes me appreciate it even more because, like I said, my brother who didn't even watch it in order, he still understands the main gist of the story, and he's still very invested into it, even though he only watches like a little bit of it, but it still like immerses him that much. Like Conan is one of those series to where like somebody can come in and just watch it. They'll watch like an episode like all these episodes later, and even though like they may be a little confused, but they can still really enjoy a case and really enjoy the episodic nature of the story, like really get into it, because even if you don't know the characters or the stuff that's involved, with the way that Ghost Show does it, man, it makes you get attached to that main cast, and you really want to find out like who did it, who's the culprit. And this series is awesome sauce, man. It truly is a catch-up experience of a lifetime, and one of my favorite catch-up experiences I've ever had, man. Probably my favorite, man. It was like I really needed this. I really needed this, an experience like this, just on a personal level, on a creative level, and on an inspirational level. It's just it hit all the notes, man, and it's definitely one of my favorites, without question, one of my favorites. I had to rethink my entire list after I read Conan, man, and read and watched it, and I'm truly thankful I got into it, man. It's such an awesome series, and I know I just sat here and I rambled for like 46 minutes, but I had to get it off my chest, bro. I had to get it off my chest, man. It's Conan greatness, man. So happy I got into it. I can't wait to watch the rest of the movies and just get more of the awesome stuff. The anime comes back on April 28th. New chapter drops soon. That'll be nice, man. And I'm gonna continue having Conan as like that personal experience for me, like I said before, like a steel ball run for me, where like you catch up, man. And hey, like I went back and I just started just researching and reading, and I still have interviews to read. I'm the type of dude that really likes seeing other people's opinions on stuff that I love as well. When it comes to like I watched, there was one guy Laz got me, there's some other guy on YouTube that does cases and or does Conan videos, and I was watching his top tens, and I'm interested in knowing other people's top 10 favorite cases, top 10 favorite characters, and stuff like that for Conan. Like that's the type of videos that I would like to do for Conan, which I probably will do here in the near future. But yeah, man, if you're still here, bro, and you listen to this entire ramble of the Conan awesome sauce, man, God bless you, yo. God bless you, because I poured my heart and soul into this, man. Like I needed to vent. I needed to vent about this entire journey that I've had for this past 2 months of absolute awesome sauce, man. And I want to thank everybody on Twitter who did not spoil me at all. Like I went throughout this entire experience unspoiled. I went throughout that entire amazing Akai arc of trying to figure out whether this man was still alive or not. None of you guys spoiled me on that. None of you guys spoiled me on the 1008 reveal. None of you guys spoiled me on absolutely anything that happened in the story Bourbon. Like nothing. Nothing. Massive reveals. Like you guys you guys never told me anything. And once again, a massive shout out to Quentin and Laz for helping me and guiding me on the journey and the adventure of Detective Conan, man. It was one of the greatest experiences ever, bro. But thank you all so much for watching, man. Conan greatness. I look forward to the weekly experience from here on out. Can't wait to reread and rewatch some more awesome sauce as well. Like this series has such amazing replay value. I'm definitely gonna watch a lot of the movies now. Like maybe even right now, I'm probably gonna go watch a movie too. We'll see what happens. But yeah, even like the filler episodes I want to watch, man. I just want to be with these characters. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be with these characters, man. I don't care if it's a Junior Detective League case. I don't care if it's a case with freaking Sato and Takagi. I don't care if it's a case with just the police. I don't care if it's a case with just like Amudo and with Ray and flipping Conan, or if it's a Haibara and Conan. I don't care, man. I love all the characters, yo. Like just give me Conan. Just give me the series and give me the characters in the series. Put them in any scenario, and I'm pretty much guaranteed to enjoy it, man. Greatness, man. Heiji cases are so gold, bro. The Heiji flipping cases. You guys are awesome today, man. Thank you so much for watching, bro. Conan greatness, man. This has seriously been one of the best experiences and because it was perfect. It was perfect. It's exactly what I needed, man. That catch-up experience of a lifetime.